Hi everybody, welcome to a new all of the above budget movie review. This time, it's the start of the Sylvester Stallone month. I already did Demolition Man. You can find that in the link down here. I'll put it down there. And I wanted to start off with something that really made him the actor that he is. So here's Rocky. Um, the Rocky series. It's it's been one of the best. It's been the vehicle that driven Stallone's yeah career. Yeah, you can say that. It's a movie. It's series of movies about a boxer coming up from nothing and building his way up to something. And I just loved all those six movies. Some are great, some are lesser, but in the fact they're all one big, great, connected thing. The first Rocky movie was classic, of course. The punchy guy who did work for a leg breaker or was a leg breaker for some kind of money shark, loan shark, and trying to get out of that world and make it into boxing. Um, he already did some boxing, but wasn't that good, or was good but wasn't recognized that good until he got the chance to fight Apollo Creed. And it's a movie that it's not only about the boxing; it's about people, it's about emotions, it's about yeah, it touches you. Not in a dirty way, but it just touches you in a heartfelt way. Um, when you see Rocky at the end, all beaten up and painful and just wanting the love of his life, it pulls your heartstrings. Um, and that's what those movies are good at. It gives you a certain kind of feeling. Um, so the first one was really about Rocky coming up in his career, in his life, and getting to know this man. And the second one is more about, well, what do we do next? Rocky is a big fighter. He or big. He is a fighter who has some more recognizable because he fought Apollo Creed. They ended on a tie, so Apollo Creed wants a rematch, and they do. And what a rematch it is. This movie again is it's not all about boxing. Um, it's also about life. So we see what happens to Rocky when he got the chance and how his life turned out after that. The yeah things he could do, the things that he couldn't do anymore. Um, his love life, what it did to his love life. Yeah, it's and again like the first movie, it touches you. It reaches out to those heartstrings and yeah, really makes it okay. Um, and we get the final, of course, that he wins from Apollo Creed and becomes the world champion. Um, and then we got part three with when he was fighting Mr. T. And I liked a three too. The Eye of the Tiger is one of the songs you hear in your mind when you're watching this, and you hear Mr. T with his famous line, "I pity the fool," which everybody thought came from the A Team, but came from Rocky 3, of course. Like, it's, yeah. Um, I liked it too. It tells the story more about what happens when you, as a fighter, are not in. You're becoming famous, and everything around you starts changing, and it changes you. So we meet a new kind of Rocky, and we see that progression. We see the progression in his relationship with Adrian and with Paulie. Paulie, we seen him in the first two movies too, of course, as this drunk and his dad guy who has aggression problems. Is I think he's pretty depressed or pretty has some mental issues, yeah, like um, so we see the people we see in the first two movies get a bigger thing, a bigger arc, and Rocky becomes a dad. That's a new thing. Uh, family has a big part in this movie. Uh, Paulie, who was his acquaintance or friend in the first movie, is now his brother-in-law, of course, because he married Adrian in the second movie. So Adrian or Paulie and Rocky are brothers now, or brothers-in-law, right? So they're family. And he gets a new opponent, played by Mr. T, and Mr. T does it wonderful. It's no wonder that after this movie, Mr. T was asked to do the A-Team, because it's just instant recognizable how he came into that movie with the famous mohawk. It's cool. Um, yeah. So part 4, we get a Rocky who is world famous. He is on top. He can do nothing wrong. Fights, wins everything, until there's this unstoppable Russian wall called Ivan Drago, played by Dolph Lundgren. And this one, it's a good movie. It like I said, it touches the heartstrings again, but it is more of what the other movies were. Um, but it is a good one. I liked it. I especially loved the training montages. The Rocky's famous for his training montages, of course. And we see him, well, trying to vindicate what happened to Apollo Creed, because Ivan Drago first fought Apollo Creed, and he killed Apollo Creed, or he hit him so hard Apollo Creed died. Um, Seeing the change that happened between 3 and 4, how the dynamic between Apollo and then Rocky changed. In 4, like, Apollo is one of his closest people who know what he's going through, and knows his life, and we see him doing his best to do something about what happens to him and fighting Drago in Russia. And it's a very good movie. It kicks ass. It has one of the best boxing scenes ever. I had a roommate once who just skipped to all the boxing parts. I mean, it's like you're missing 90% of the movies and just watching the highlights. But okay. Then came number 5, and it's a good movie. It's not the best Rocky movie, but it's it works in how the movies are done in chronicle order. Rocky Five is leads up of or goes starts off where Rocky Four ended. Rocky comes back from Russia. Uh, some jerk lost of Rocky's money, or when stole all of his money. You can't trust people anymore, of course. And Rocky is back on his, yeah, has to go back to where he came from, like Philadelphia, in the old house where everything started in his first movie. We get we get his son played by his real son Sage Stallone, um, who was brought up in well as a rich kid, and he has to go back to nothing, and that's a big turnaround for that boy, um, and being the son of in a place where he isn't really seen. So yeah, um, it's just great to see Rocky trying to take the shots he was given. Um, there's no boxing match at the end of the movie, just a street fight. But it's a nice close off, and for a long time it was the last Rocky movie. And it was a nice point, nice way to end. But years later, Stallone revisited some of his old classics, including Rocky. Uh, and he came up with Rocky Balboa. Rocky Balboa is about Rocky when he's a lot older. We see Paulie, who's also, again, a lot older, of course. And he wants to empty the tank because there's still a lot of fire in there. He wants to fight again. But he's old. He doesn't think he can compete to the younger fighters that are in the ring right now. So it's all about what do you do when you have a passion, but the world tells you, well, you can't do it anymore because you're too old or you're not good enough. So, and that kind of ends this series for now. The Rocky series has a kind of spin off and a continuation, and I'll come back to that in another video. But it's a good one. I loved the Rocky movies, and I will keep rewatching them. And yeah, I'm wondering, what did you think of the Rocky movies? Um, Leave a comment down here. And if you want to like, or if you want to subscribe, you can do that here. And if you want to like this video, you can like it too. And that just leaves me to say thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.